Seminarze place where we all can sit and talk about.
Mr. President, Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, this is great honor to welcome you, the participants of the 83rd Rose-Rosის Seminar here in Tbilisi, Georgia. The topic which this seminar brought here is really very important. South Caucasus, geopolitics, Euro-Atlantic integration, and domestic challenges. It is very hard to think of any more important topic for my country, for this region, to discuss in these days. It is also should be noted that in 2 years period of time, this is second seminar which is organized in Georgia, and it underlines the importance the NATO member countries and partners are paying to this region, to this country, to my homeland. Thank you for that to everybody. Indeed, this region, South Caucasus, brings a lot of attention, not only of the politicians, but experts, journalists, writers, and I would think this region generated in the recent years probably most volume of books, articles, recommendations, experts' analysis in search of peace, prosperity, not only in this region, but in the wider perspective, in wider region. This region is vital for the world. We are feeling that, and Georgia, my homeland, wants to be ready not only to gain from this partnership, but also to contribute and to play important role for building peace, democracy and prosperity in the world. As a proof for our aspiration to be full-scale participant of the events, operations, work which the NATO is doing worldwide is our firm belief and firm choice to become NATO member. That's why it is widely underlined that our choice is not political choice. Our choice is not choice of one political force or one political leader or one group of the people. The October parliamentary elections, which were underlined by Secretary General Rasmussen as great test which Georgia passed, proved that NATO aspirations are aspirations of Georgian people. And the change of the government did not affect our direction, our firm belief that Georgia needs to become the full member of the network which NATO is uniting now. Georgian soldiers are fighting in Afghanistan, and Georgia committed itself to continue its participation in this operation after 2014, when the format of the work NATO is doing there will be changed. It is great honor for us, great honor of Georgian people to be part of this collective effort to bring stability and peace worldwide. We are glad that NATO member countries made it very clear to everybody that Georgia will become NATO member. These words, believe me, are one of the most important phrases Georgian people have ever heard from the democratic world. We value this commitment from NATO member states, and we are doing all possible in order to be ready for membership. I can proudly inform you that the new parliament, which started its operation since October 2012, despite many difficulties, which cohabitation brings not only to Georgia but probably to all countries where such things happen, We were able and we were successful in drafting and adopting resolution of the Parliament of Georgia on foreign policy priorities of the country. And this resolution was drafted together with the majority and minority and was passed on bipartisan voting. In this very important document, we once again underlined our strategic priorities. Strategic priorities of the country, which is looking forward to become member of the democratic world, European Union, and NATO. And we once again underlined that there is no other issue, no other process, no other value, no other tactics which could undermine the strategic goal of the country. And it was very important that this resolution was adopted by the former government representatives and by the current government representatives. This should be a very important signal from our country to our friends that our decision is very firm and does not depend on the changes in local political landscape. Those changes are welcomed because Georgia wants to become democracy. After next elections, we may have different government, but our priorities stay unchanged. And this is very important. At the moment, Georgia is undergoing through this difficult process of cohabitation, as I said, because as it is in many young democracies, not all the institutional framework was ready for such change. There were no sufficient constitutional frameworks. There was no cultural traditions and precedents of changing the government through peaceful elections. But we, Georgian people, politicians, together with the international community, managed to deal with this very important task successfully. The change of the government through elections should not be any test in the future. This is already the precedent, and the new government is committed to continue all necessary democratic reforms in order to establish in our country true multi-party democracy. As one small evidence, but still evidence, I should cite on the results of by-elections in one of the districts of Tbilisi, which came up yesterday. The representative of the ruling party received 40%, no more 80, 85 or 90%, which was the tradition in this country. There were 4 other candidates which received 17, 15, 13, 12% in these elections. I believe this is very important indication where we are going. We are going to multi-party democracy because we believe that this is the only sustainable democracy, and no one party, no one leader should attempt to hold monopoly on truth in this country. And this is what is going to change, and this is what we are going to demonstrate in the nearest future, in coming years and coming months. We have difficulties. We need to deal with some serious problems of the past, but we need to do this in full conformity to the rule of law. For that reason, we are asking to the democratic world to help us in this difficult situation. And we want to thank you. Here are the members of the parliaments of our friends, countries, which we are together with us in most difficult times. Now we do not have those most difficult times. We have good times. We are full of optimism and energy, but we still need your support. And we urge you, everybody, not to think that job is done in Georgia. Unfortunately, that happened after the Rose Revolution of 2003. And many people believed that democracy does not need any more assistance in Georgia, and it's enough to support to the state because right people are at the right place and they can govern this country to the right direction. We declare that yes, we are the right people in the government, but we still need your attention, your support, and most importantly, Georgian society, Georgian people need support of the democratic world. Civil society must be the strongest player in social affairs, not any political party. For that reason, we want to thank you once again for this opportunity to meet with you, to have this discussion. During next 2 days, there will be very important topics discussed in this room, and we will learn experience of many countries on many issues, and this is very valuable for us. I wish you all the success during these 2 days. Thank you again for coming, and I want to conclude my introduction with one historic process, I would say. It was President Shevardnadze who knocked on the door of NATO about more than 10 years ago. It was President Saakashvili who was notified about 5 years ago that that door was opened for us. Now, after 5 years from that moment, Prime Minister Ivanishvili and myself have one question to you. Can we enter in that door? Please tell us this answer sooner than later. Thank you.